What's up, Book? The nose doesn't look that bad, man. It's coming along, man.
Appreciate that.
No doubt, dude. And listen, man, I want to know what you learned about your teammates during that cold stretch, man. It was like 5 minutes. You couldn't get a bucket. You were stuck on 71. What did you learn about your teammates during that time?
What we've been preaching all year, we have to rely on our defense. So, I think both teams were stuck at 70 and 71 for, a few minutes. I think we got a good couple opportunities. A lot of them rimmed in and rimmed out, but you just get back and you play defense. You don't let your offense affect the way, that you guard. So that's what we relied on all night. I think it was an ugly game from beginning to end, honestly, if you're talking from a scoring aspect. But, we dug in and got stops, and it's the playoffs. Any way you can come out with one.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Rachel Nichols.
And then when did you decide you were going to ditch the mask?
I think I took it off after I missed the layup. I said after the game, if I get hit again, which you don't realize how much you get hit in the face until you take it off, that, I can get surgery after the season. And I'm not blaming anything on the mask, but, I haven't played basketball with the mask ever in my life. So, it takes some getting used to. And, at that point in that time, I didn't want it.
Lastly, I just wanted to ask you, sitting there watching the end of that game, what would that had to be tough?
Yeah, tough, because I know I let my team down in some aspects of grabbing some pretty cheap fouls early in the game. And, you're not thinking about that early in the game, how it can affect the end. So, it's a learning lesson for me. And it's easier to learn after a win. So, go back, watch some film, and just clean up the little mistakes because, if you want to win big, how we're trying to, I got to be out there for my team.
Next is Rachel Nichols with ESPN, and then Dave McMenamin.
Chris Paul, as you know, just called you the oldest 24-year-old he's ever met. I think that's a compliment. I'm not entirely sure. What do you think it is about you, the way you grew up, the way you have spent these last 6 years in the league that has made you an old soul, as you put it?
I'll say just experiences. And like you said, it's the way I grew up, having an older brother, wanting to hang out with him and his friends all the time. And then I moved to Mississippi with my dad, and I'm with him and his friends all the time. And those are the environments I've just been in. Those are the gyms I've been in. And, it's always been their own conversation. So even when I spent time with them guys, I listen more than I talk. So I just pick up the way people carry themselves. And, I was around some really good people growing up that, they nurtured me and taught me a lot.
Do you not intend to wear the mask then the rest of the way here?
I don't know. I haven't decided. Like I said, you don't realize how much you get hit in the face till you take it off. So, I might have to go back to it. But, at that time, in that place, I didn't want it on.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, followed by Gina Mizell.
I'm sure for yourself, being one win away from the house, is there any sense as a group for this opportunity for Chris?
Of course.
You verbalize what that means for the group, maybe 16 years in, probably giving this chance again.
Yeah, like Chris said, I watch every game, and that was before I was in the NBA. So I've been a fan of his for a long time, and I've learned so much from him this year. And I always talk about off the court how he carries himself, and he's just a true professional, at every level, at all times. So I have a lot of respect for him as a man, not even as a basketball player, and just understanding how bad he wants this and how much time he's put into it. Like you said, 16 years, that's a long time. I think when we made the Western Conference Finals, he was like, I've only been here one time. So we know how bad he wants it. Same with Coach Monty. I get that same feeling from him. And me and DeAndre are sitting here. Mikal, it's our first time in here. It's a little spoiled, but it came with a lot of work. But we definitely have his back.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, followed by Cameron Cox.
Kind of a broader question for you. You've mentioned a couple times during the playoffs how during the summer you tried to simulate what this was going to feel like and try to just mimic or put yourself in the right mindset or visualize. Like, that seems way easier said than done. So, how did you do that? And how do you feel like it's paying off, now?
Just imagination, you know, while you're out there by yourself, you know, obviously you can't mimic the crowd or everything that's going on, but you know, you like a kid again, you know, you just imagine yourself in those situations, you know. You look up at the shot clock, you know, you pretend it's winding down. So it's just little things that, you know, that's how you get the most out of your workouts. So me and my dad talk about all the time is being efficient with your work. And when you're in there taking every rep serious as if it is the playoffs or as it is the finals, you know, you get some really good work in.
Does it feel like it is paying off? You're like, okay, even though I am in this situation for the first time, it feels familiar in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, it's basketball, and I've watched a ton of playoffs, but like I say, you can't mimic the crowd, the atmosphere, can't mimic picking up your sixth foul.
Right.
That's frustrating, but you know, as far as the game, yeah,
Or having to like set a screen with a broken nose.
exactly.
Next up is Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Ramona Shelburne.
Hey, Book, you guys are one win away, obviously, from going to play for an NBA title. Do you let your mind go there just yet, or what's the thought process after this one?
I mean, we know what's on the table. We know it's there. You know, we can't hide that, but you know, we've kept the same mindset the whole playoffs and the whole regular season. Honestly, is building this thing brick by brick, game by game. So, you know, we're not looking too far ahead or saying who we're going to get in the finals or anything like that. But we definitely understand that, you know, if we win the next one, we're headed to the NBA Finals.
Next is Ramona Shelburne with ESPN, followed by Melissa Rowland.
Hey, I was talking to Tyson Chandler, and he was saying when you first came in the league, you were always asking him, what's it like in the finals?
Mhm.
What's it like getting the conference finals? Do you remember any of the advice he gave you, and sort of, does any of it come back around to you?
Oh yeah, I asked Tyson more than that. I asked pretty much anything. I asked him about the Olympics also. You know, I always credit my veterans. You know, people talk about my situation that, you know, I was in and how it was unfair to me, but, you know, I always see the bright side in it, and, you know, being able to develop a relationship with somebody like Tyson that, you know, has accomplished everything that I want to do in this league. So I always leaned on him, you know, and I still do. You know, that relationship's here forever. But, you know, he's also Chris in that way in their approach. You know, they don't get happy, you know, over the little things. They're in it to win big, and that's the only thing that they want. But he says once you get a taste of it, you know, there's nothing else that you're going to want in the world. So trying to get there.
Next is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, followed by Kellen Olson.
Hey, what was your reaction when you showed up today and you saw DA wearing a shirt emblazoned with a photo of your face after you suffered the broken nose? What did that mean to you?
I honestly didn't see it till I seen her on social media. I was on the same bus with him. I looked at him once I seen it. I was like, oh, that's hard. He was like, I was hiding it from you on the bus. I was sitting like this. So obviously, you know, it's like a replica of Steve's moment. You know, so that means a lot, man. That's my little big brother. You know, we have a relationship that's bigger in basketball, and, you know, it's taken time to develop it. And, you know, I'm so proud of him and the strides that he's taken. And, you know, for him to honor me in that way, you know, that's love for real.
Next up is final three questions. They're going to start with Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Jovan Buha.
Hey, Book, to go off Gina's question and like that mental preparation, Monty mentioned earlier in the week, physical preparation for you too, just the setup you have at your house. I imagine this was the stage of the season you were thinking about all the way back last summer when you're just preparing your body. How do you feel physically right now that's deep in your first postseason run?
I feel good, honestly. And, you know, it does. It takes it's time consuming, you know, taking care of your body. I have a whole routine and operation at my house with infrared sauna, light stem bed, so a whole bunch of things. And, you know, David Crew on our training staff, you know, we put a lot of time in. I tell him all the time, I talk to you and see you more than I see my mom. So, you know, we're always together, and, you know, he's on the same page as us. He understands how important our health is, and you know, he puts in the extra time, and, you know, he spends a lot of time working on me.
Final two questions are Jovan Buha with The Athletic and Mark Medina.
Hey, Book. DeAndre had 9 offensive rebounds tonight, and Monty was saying that he's one of the best he's ever seen at just going straight up over guys and not fouling. We're back. So I guess how important was that for you guys in a game that you did shoot 36% overall and then kind of just winning the margins like that with his hustle and effort?
Yeah, that's his nickname, dominating. He definitely earned that tonight. In many ways, and I heard Chris tell you guys about shoot around, just how animated he was and saying, this is my paint, I'm protecting it tonight. And doing that on both ends. I know, how it makes a team feel when you give up offensive rebound. I think we gave up 7 in the first quarter. Those aren't easy plays for a team when you guard a whole possession and the team gets a second chance basket. And, it's hard to keep him off there. His stature, his build, and just his motor. He works. And, I say it all the time. I think he's finally realizing how big and strong and how agile and he can move. And, it's paid off big for him and us.
Final question is Mark Medina with USA Today.
Build off of that about Andrew. Obviously, he had that huge lob the other night, but what other kind of pivot points have you seen in him that showed, hey, he's putting his game to another level?
Oh, dude, everything. He's brought it to a whole nother level this playoffs, from angles of screening to understanding the game, not understanding just who his matchup is, who we're guarding and what they like to do. You're going to see a lot of pick and rolls at him, every single game. That's just the offense of the NBA, and, just understanding tendencies of different players, of not the ones that he's guarding. And, that usually takes a few years. So him to grow up on the fly in this short amount of time is, very impressive. But, you see him putting the time in off the work. I mean, off the floor. I don't know how much basketball he watched prior, but, he comes up to me about every game now, and conversations that we didn't have in the past. So I know he's tuned in. I know, he's focused. And like Chris said earlier, Monty's so detail oriented that, you have to be like that. And understanding that little plays and understanding what people like to do can, make or break a game. So, that's really impressive with him.
And Chris, congrats on the win. Can you just take us through the emotions of that fourth quarter and what's it like to be one win away from playing for an NBA title?
Man, it was a lot. It's emotional, it's loud, tired. Book fouled out. I didn't even realize it. But it's just how our team been all year long. Showing that grit and fighting and staying together.
Next up is going to be Rachel Nichols with ESPN, followed by Ramona Shelburne.
When you look at the difference between winning and losing in a lot of these games, it's so tiny. What do you think it is about your team that when the margin is so razor thin, you guys are getting all those little tiny edges?
Just poise and the togetherness. That ball can bounce either way. And I think a lot of times teams are reflective of the coach. And mine is, oriented all season long. At practice, we watch talking about box outs, talking about end of game situations, and we'll take it. We'll take it tonight.
Next is Ramona Shelburne with ESPN, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Chris, we always talk about poise with you. I've seen you hit a lot of those free throws in this building over the years. Your guy back there, Ethan Benner, I guess. When I ask people about him, people say he has that same kind of poise too. Have you noticed that coming in this year and throughout the games like this?
No, I knew that. Ain't about noticing that. Watch a lot of basketball, man, and so it's a lot of really good players in our league that don't always get the opportunity to show what they can do. You know what I mean? And I didn't know him Book since before his rookie year, and we know each other. And when we play against each other, we almost fight, and that's because I know how competitive he is. And that's why I think this has worked, because, there's no ego, from either one of us. At the end of the day, we just want to win.
Next up is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Dave McMenamin.
Yeah, Chris, played a lot of basketball in your career. Have you ever seen a stretch where neither team can make a shot, intentional missed free throw the whole bit? Have you ever been a part of anything like that?
Probably not. I think it was 14, 15, fourth quarter. I got a free throw to end the game. Damn, missed it. You know what I mean? But then I got a chance to do it again. It was a crazy emotional game. The fans were great, and it's good. It's good to get that win, and now going back home. I didn't get a chance to feel that energy in game 1 and 2. I was at the crib with my family. So I'm excited to go back to Phoenix. I ain't been in Phoenix in a while.
Next is Dave McMiniman with ESPN, followed by Gina Mizell.
Yeah, we can get to ask you the typical series preview type of questions. Because back to this win, one of the biggest of your career comes in this building. I guess the franchise you played for so long. Was there any extra layer to it?
Not till the job is done. Not till the job is done. You know, we can talk about all that then, but right now it's just laser focused. 3 wins don't win the series. So right now we did what we came here to do. We wanted to get one of these, and now we got to stay focused and be ready to go back to our crowd. Big shout out to Phoenix fans. Jay, our trainer, showed us the arena. I didn't know they did like a viewing party, you know, so that's super duper dope. And we need one more win.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then will be Kellen Olson.
I mean, you've been in so many clutch moments in your career, but in this type of game, like how have you learned to calm your mind, and just what was the process to like getting to that point where you are so poised in those moments?
I was mad I missed the middies that could have put us up 5 or 7. But it's so crazy, man. When I went to the free throw line, I thought about my son. You know, I talk to my son all the time about the importance of shooting free throws. And he's really getting into basketball now, and he's training. And he texted me earlier today telling me about his game this morning. And I seriously went to the free throw line. I was like, how the hell I'm gonna tell him to stay poised if I don't do it my damn self? Right? Like, dead serious. So that's what was dope, was after the game, looking up there in the suite and seeing my son excited, you know, so.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Chris Haynes.
Hey, Chris, to bounce off Dwayne's question, in the fourth quarter when things were spiraling for you guys, you kept defending on the other end that whole time. Monty talks about poise all the time. Did you feel like that really shined through in those moments when you guys were able to quickly?
Absolutely, man. DA and the way he was in there battling, getting rebounds, and Jay got a big steal down there when I think they hit Zubac, and I was like, dang, he about to get a dunk. And then the ball just magically appeared, you know. So that's trust. That's it's a lot, man. It's been an emotional year for everybody, not just our team, but especially our team, guys, family things and all this. So it's definitely been a process, and we having fun.
Next is Chris Haynes with Turner, followed by Melissa Rowland.
Chris, you said the job isn't done. A few years ago, you've been in this position where you were 1 win away from getting to the finals. With that in your background, is there a new perspective that you have since then, with this new opportunity that you have?
Everything happens for a reason. You know, everything happens for a reason. Don't dwell on things you always remember, you know, but I'm here now, excited about this opportunity, and all I can worry about right now is game 5.
Next is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, and then Mark Medina.
Hey, Chris, you alluded to this earlier, but how much of a difference did DA's defensive presence make for you guys tonight?
Man, shoot around this morning, DA told me, he said, see, you stay out there, I got all this in there, in here. You know, and I said, all right, big fella, you got it, you got it. And to see his growth, man, I get goosebumps, seriously, man. We done had some heated conversations this season, especially earlier in the season, but man, I genuinely love him, you know what I'm saying, the person that he is, and to see everything that's coming to him, national audience getting to see who he is and why he was the #1 pick. I couldn't be happier for him.
Final 2 questions are Mark Medina with USA Today and Dan Woike.
Hey, Chris, good to see you. On that note about DeAndre, before you joined the Suns, what were your impressions of his game from afar? And you mentioned that he had conversations with this.
Might be dating myself a little bit, but I coached against DA. Yeah, my AAU team, Team CP3. I coached against DA in the EYBL. You know what I mean? So that was sort of my experience. You know, we smacked him one time, and then one time he got at us. But you know, didn't know much about him, and I just had to try to build a relationship with him. And to see where we are now, like I said, it's been a journey, and I'm happy we all doing this together.
Final question is Dan Woike with the LA Times.
Chris, it's okay. You've seen some pretty weird stuff in the playoffs. What has it been like watching your team handle the .9 game, the lob, watching you guys kind of navigate a pretty crazy fourth quarter right now? And what does it say about a team that's never even been in this position largely?
Says a lot, man. Says a lot. Still, like I said, we got a ways to go, but everybody always talks about, oh, it's a young team. It's a young team. I think back to when I first got into the playoffs. Sometimes it's best like that because you just hooping. You know what I mean? You ain't thinking about all this and that. And we got a young team, but with some old souls, especially Book. He like an old man. He the oldest 24-year-old I ever met in my life. You know what I mean? You see him with his old schools and all that. The biggest thing, he know the game. He know the game. He watch every game every night just like me. And so, you know, it's cool to be on this journey with Mikal Bridges, all this campaign who've been unbelievable. We just next man up type of team.